Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. Oh, wait, wrong YouTube channel. Except I don't own Shrine of Anubis, just so people understand that right away. But hello, everybody, welcome back to the Kemetic Monk YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about another requested topic, which was Anubis and affection. Technically, people were wanting me to talk about my more intimate experiences with Anubis, but I've kind of decided against it for now because I think talking about how Anubis can express affection to people is a much more, I want to say, helpful topic than talking about my intimate history with Anubis. So, with all of that being said, let's get straight into the video. So, what are some things that Anubis can do to show affection to you? And when I say affection, don't take it in a romantic sense. Yes, Anubis is a very romantic god, but affection is not always a romantic thing. If I'm showing you affection, I can oftentimes be showing it because I'm happy with you, I feel comfortable with you, or I am appreciating what you're doing. And when I'm saying affection here, this is kind of how Anubis can essentially show that he is happy with what you're doing, that he is appreciating what you're doing, and this is basically him. I would say these signs are him trying to find the right word for it, but I don't want to say praising, but showing gratuity towards you. So just to clear that out of the way, how the terminologies between affection and romanticness can are with this. I'm not going to be talking too much about romantic kind of things with Anubis. This is just going to be how he can be showing that he's really happy with you. Now, anyone that you talk to that works with Anubis will tell you that Anubis is a very affectionate god. A lot of people will tell you that Anubis is a god that loves any kind of affection that he can get, and that also is that he likes to give affection as well. From my experience personally with Anubis, he can be he can be real. I want to say the word cuddly, but I don't want to say that in a like romantic kind of term. He's just really, I will say real cuddly. When when I would do something that'd make Anubis happy, a lot of times I'd always notice that I would start feeling him touch me more. But don't think of the word touch me in like a wrong way. Think of it as just a head pat, which is something that a lot of people will tell you Anubis is, known for. He loves giving head pats. If he's real happy with you, you might feel like your head's being patted. Head pats are one thing that Anubis is really well known for giving, but I've felt him at times. Sometimes he'll hug me. Sometimes he'll hug me from behind. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I'll feel him next to me. I'll sometimes feel really relaxed in my sleep. Anubis is not a very talkative god, so in return to express affection, he doesn't praise you. His ways of praising are by touching and more hands-on ways of communication. You also don't want to hear Anubis talk, because it is kind of terrifying if you are not prepared for it. But with that being said, touching or kind of physical contact is something that if you're feeling not harmed by it, Anubis isn't a god that really tries to hurt people physically at all. I mean, he doesn't know his strength, and a lot of times he'll put his hand on my shoulder and he puts too much pressure on it. It makes my shoulder hurt, but other than that, Anubis isn't a god that goes out of his way to hurt people. So if you're feeling like a very comforting touch or a very comforting feeling, or you're feeling hugged or embraced, that's likely Anubis trying to tell you that he's really happy with what you're doing. Now someone might ask, how do you make Anubis happy? And it's not hard to make Anubis happy, really. Paying attention to yourself will make Anubis happy. Paying respect to the dead is something that'll make Anubis happy. Talking to older people, I've noticed. Like, a lot of times I talk to a lot of older folk and try to hear their stories and remember what they went through in their life. And that is something that makes Anubis very happy when you're remembering people, when you're appreciating the life that someone lives. To kind of sum it up, it's that ways to make Anubis happy would be appreciating both life and death in some way, shape, or form. If you are really showing appreciation to yourself and you're appreciating life in some way, then that makes Anubis happy. And I mean, Anubis understands that we all go through hard times in our life and that sometimes we're not happy with our life, and don't feel like you're disappointing him because Anubis will understand. You know, you don't have to just always appreciate life 24/7. I think we can all kind of agree with that. But showing appreciation to life itself, rather that be taking care of animals, taking care of elderly, taking care of people, will always make Anubis very happy. And paying attention to life that has already passed on will make Anubis really happy. Going to cemeteries, leaving offerings to the dead, communicating with the dead in some ways if you can. If you know there's a soul that needs help moving on, helping that soul move on is another thing that can effectively make, or that will make Anubis happy. So those are some things to keep in mind when you're wanting to know how you can pay tributes to Anubis, and I'll probably do a whole video on that here at some point. But digressing a little bit on that and talking more about things that you can do, or things that Anubis will do to show affection to you. Another thing that Anubis does to show affection is by protecting you. Now, protecting is a bit of a loose kind of term here, and a lot of people would probably wonder how that is a sign of affection. If you work with Anubis and you're really, really strong working with him, or you have a really deep connection with him, Anubis is likely going to get a little territorial over you. And don't think of territorial as a toxic nature in this sense. Anubis is not going to stop you from working with another god. Anubis is not going to prevent you from getting with people that you think are good for you. Anubis will stop you from getting with someone that he knows is bad for you, but Anubis will start getting a bit territorial. If he knows that there's someone bad, and he knows that someone bad is coming into your life, it's not uncommon for him to do everything he can to keep you away from that event or that person. I've heard plenty of examples of Anubis protecting the people that work with him by simply making sure that they don't go to a specific location at a specific time, or in my case, showing me that someone was lying to me about everything. And I've had Anubis personally get mad at other people that he knew were lying or causing me harm or had ill intentions. I've had Anubis get mad at those people before, and needless to say, events did not go over well. In fact, I'll actually share a bit of a story. When I first started working with Anubis in July of 2021, In July of 2021, we had a 4th of July event going on at my grandma's house. And I was just feeling terrible. I was not feeling great at all. I was down in the dumps, and I was feeling sad because my aunt and my uncle were just harassing me about how much of a failure I was in life, telling me that I dropped out of college and that I just need to go work the rest of my life away because I'm not going to amount to anything because I have a terrible work ethic. The things they were saying were really uncalled for, at the time that's what I thought, and I was really feeling sad and depressed, and I just did not want to keep staying there. And I remember that we went out to go light the fireworks off because it's 4th of July, and as we light the fireworks off, the fireworks are standing in place on the pedestal that we had them on to shoot them off, and for some reason, the fireworks that were that were completely faced up were shooting at the crowd. And I remember for some reason I went over and kind of stayed behind the car. I don't remember why. I just went over and stayed behind the car, and then all of a sudden fireworks just started shooting at the crowd. And no one else in the crowd was hurt by those fireworks except my aunt and uncle, who both got hit twice and burnt their clothes because of the fireworks. And I realized at the time that I did at the time realize that that was Anubis basically giving me a reason to leave, because I didn't want to be there, but I did want to leave because my grandma was there. Even though she objectively also caused a lot of problems, but regardless. And he was also, I would say, was probably mad at the fact that they were for no good reason, harassing me when they knew that I was clearly in distress. And Anubis definitely gave them what for, in a way. And they weren't seriously injured. He didn't seriously harm them, but it was definitely enough to make them not want to keep shooting fireworks off. So that is kind of something that I've noticed with Anubis, in a sense, is that he can get very territorial with you when you are a devotee or you're working really constantly with him. He will protect you in many ways, shapes, or forms. He doesn't want harm to fall upon you. He doesn't want you to be hurt in any way. So he will do everything he can to protect you when he knows that he needs to. And that's always something I really appreciated about Anubis, is that you're always very safe with him no matter what. So it's another way Anubis can show appreciation to you. If he really likes what you do with him, if he really appreciates you working with him, then he will protect you, and he will start getting a little overprotective or a little territorial. If people are really going to be causing you harm, he'll let you know that those people aren't good for you, and he'll do everything he can to show you that these people are not good for you. And also from my own experience, that is kind of something else with Anubis. He doesn't demand that you stop talking to these people, but he will show you that these people are not good for you, and these people are not who you think they are. I've had Anubis do that a handful of times with people, so... Regardless. Sorry, I don't know why I was yawn so much when I'm trying to talk. Sorry, I'm probably going to make all of you yawn in return. But continuing on, what are some other things that Anubis can do to show appreciation or affection to you? Now, this one can be a little bit more NSFW, so if you are under the age of 18, or really for Missouri under the age of 16, please close your ears. Well, I can't actually stop you from doing anything, but I will say this anyways. So this is NSFW, but another thing I have seen from other people, Anubis has not really done this with me. I have asked him, he won't. I don't know why he won't. I genuinely don't know why. He's kind of tried before, but I think there's probably a reason he doesn't. And another way Anubis can show affection is through orgasms. If you get an unexpected orgasm in a dream, or you feel one coming on when you feel like comfortable at home, or maybe if you start really thinking about Anubis and your mind starts to wander a little bit into different territories, then that is kind of a way of Anubis showing appreciation. Orgasms are something that Anubis can do to show or express appreciation to you. And don't take it as a romantic pursuit. Don't take it as like he's wanting to be in a relationship with you. Orgasms with gods are very common, especially with some gods similar to Anubis. So don't think of it too much. Don't think of it too hard. But orgasms are something that Anubis can do to show that he is really appreciative of what you're doing for him. I think I have covered everything. I think. I don't want to not talk about something and trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure I've covered everything that Anubis has done. Oh, there is one more now that I think about it. Another thing that Anubis has done for me, or something that he can do to show affection to you, is by throwing you a bone. No pun intended. On a couple of times when I've worked with Anubis, or I've done something that really made Anubis happy, where he was wanting to express affection, I've had Anubis on occasions throw me just a little small reward. One night, I remember I was for some reason craving a strawberry shake from McDonald's. I don't know why, I just was. And I wanted to go get one right away, but I said, no, I'll wait until after my friend is done playing. Me and my friend were done playing a game, and he got off. When he got off, there was like 20 minutes before the McDonald's closed, and it was right down the road, right down the street. Got in my car, drove to McDonald's, ordered a strawberry shake. Lo and behold, the person just said it was on the house. Because it took like 5 minutes, and I'm not a Karen, and I don't gripe because I don't have my strawberry shake. It took like 5 minutes to make my shake, and he told me it was on the house. And in a way, Anubis was kind of rewarding me. He was like, hey, you know what? I really like what you've been doing, and I love you, and here's a strawberry shake. Here's something to kind of let you make you feel better, make you feel good. So, and I also did want to add that something else Anubis has done with me, kind of going back onto the stories of like Anubis being really territorial or really protective over the people that work with him. I had one instance where there was a bad situation coming, and Anubis had told me in a way, but Anubis had hinted me and kind of pushed me in the direction of, hey, go buy a pizza. And then I was like, okay, I'll go buy a pizza. What for? And then, like, an hour later, after I ate the pizza, a big event happened with a friend group and some drama went down. So sometimes Anubis can also warn you of future events that might go down that might be, bad. And he'll kind of try to make sure you can be prepared for them in a way. So, but with all that being said, I think I've covered everything that Anubis can do to show affection. And I've also covered what you can do to show affection to Anubis, just to kind of clarify that it's anything to really express life, anything that is appreciating life. I will talk a bit more about that in another video, which is going to be my interpretation of Anubis. And that's going to be a bit more of a bigger video that kind of goes over everything that I feel aligns with Anubis and why I interpret him as the god that he is today, but that's an entire conversation for another video. But regardless, I think I've covered everything on this about what you can expect from Anubis if he's showing affection to you, or what you can do to make him feel happy, or what you can do to show appreciation to him. I do also want to say that just by showing affection back to Anubis can really make him happy. I've called him a dog before, but you might get some mixed reactions if you try to call him a dog. So, you can Anubis also in that sense of things you can do to show affection, but like if you tell Anubis how much you appreciate him, if you compliment Anubis, if you show him praise, Anubis really does like praise, maybe a little too much actually. But showing him praise and showing him appreciation by just basic worship, by telling him you're thankful, are all things that you can do to also show affection and appreciation to Anubis. So, but with all of that being said, I appreciate you guys coming out today. I thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys all in the next video.